Hi, I'm Zaara from Book United, and today I'm going to be talking about The Silver Eyes by Scott Cawthon. So, if you've ever heard of Five Nights at Freddy's, like the game, then you probably know who Scott Cawthon is. He is the person who designed Five Nights at Freddy's, and he also wrote a few books about his games, such as The Twisted Ones, The Fourth Closet, The Silver Eyes, and The Fazbear's Frights. He also made graphic novels, which one of them is The Silver Eyes. And he is an animator, a video game developer, and a writer. He also made other games such as The Desolate Hope, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and There Is No Pause Button. So that's a little bit about Scott Cawthon, and now I'm going to be talking about the book. Okay, but before I start talking about The Silver Eyes, I want to say that based on my knowledge, it's not actually canon from the game, and that means that it's not following the actual storyline of the game, from what my knowledge. And this is how the cover of the book looks like. So if you ever find the book, then this is how it looks. And this book takes place in a hurricane, where Charlie, or Charlotte, Henry's daughter, goes back to see her friends that she hasn't seen in a very, very long time, also known as Marla, Lamar, John, Jessica, and Carlton, and now Marla's little brother Jason. But before Marlon, Lamar, and Jason all arrive, Charlotte, Jessica, John, and Carlton all set out to find something that was very important to them back then, Freddy Fazbear's. So they go to the place that they remember it was, and they find that a mall has been built around it, which means it hasn't been knocked down. Knowing this, they looked for something that made it very stands out, which was Carlton Smells Like Feet. So once they found that, they went around and found a wall that they were able to push, and they found Freddy Fazbear's. All the animatronics were still there. Everything was as if it had been abandoned only a few minutes ago. Pirate Cove was still out of order, and later did they find out that another thing was similar. But they go back sooner or later, and they end up meeting up with Marla and Lamar and Jason. When they tell Marla and Lamar about Freddy Fazbear still being there, Marla and Lamar say that they told them about it, now they must go back. So they all end up going back to Freddy's, and they find another thing. The animatronics still work. They find a control room and all the panels to make the animatronics dance like they used to. And they set out to find the second control room, which they hope will play the music that they remember. Carlton and Jason end up wandering away from the group. Jason finds these pictures, and the pictures seem to move. So he picks one up with Bonnie and a kid, and he stuffs it in his pocket to see it and check on it again. So Carlton finds Jason. They had all been looking for him. So Carlton and Jason try to find a group, but when they're doing that, Carlton gets pulled away by Bonnie, but not the blue bunny rabbit. It was a yellow one, and he had gone pulled away by Jason, and Jason had went running to Jessica, John, Charlie, Marla, and Lamar. And they all run outside and call the police, of course. And there's another reason why they called the police, actually. Charlie had gotten hurt. She had been cut by something, which we later find out is Foxy, or another animatronic. So they called 911, and then Jason tells them that Carlton wasn't there with him. So they told the officer, which is Officer Dunn or Dune, I think, and he obviously doesn't believe them. They think they're just reckless teenagers. So he literally asked Jason, did they tell you to say this? And obviously Jason, seeing it happen, obviously was actually kind of mad at the police. And that's what, they just went back to Carlton's house, or with his dad, which was another officer, the officer in charge. And The officer assured them that it was just another one of Carlton's just lame jokes or something, and that they all got to stay around so that they can all yell at him when he comes back. But a day passed, and Carlton's still not here. Carlton's dad and Carlton's mom got into an argument about Carlton's dad not trying to find Carlton sooner. But then, not wanting to be around during that, Charlie and John go out to find something that Charlie had remembered. It's a family diner that Charlie's dad used to own. And he remembered it in a dream about her little brother, Sammy. She started to remember more and more things about it as they went along, and he had found it. Obviously, Charlie wanted to keep this a secret, so they went back. And everyone went to Fazbear's with them because, of course, they were trying to find Carlton. So they end up getting caught by Dave Miller, a night guard at the mall. And Dave Miller is actually someone very important, but I'll get to that later. And let's see here. So Dave Miller goes with Charlie and her group of friends into Fazbear's and ends up locking them in. And they had all tried to set out to find Carlton. So when they do find Carlton, which Dave had actually caught him, so he was in an animatronic suit, of course, because that's, if you know anything about Freddy Fazbear's and Five Nights at Freddy's, and you know that's what someone very important did to kids. So again, this is a horror game. If you don't like horror, then you shouldn't be reading this. Anyways, Carlton is in this animatronic suit with spring locks. And if you don't know what spring locks are in the Freddy Fazbear's thing, it's where it like snap shut and like it causes like death basically. And Charlie, being the only one who knows how to unlock these, miraculously finds Carlton and sets him free. By then, they're all trying to rush and get out, and that's when Officer Burke, which is Carlton's dad, busts through into Freddy's and tries to find them all. Once he sees that Carlton's okay, he decides to just rush them all out, but that's when Dave comes out. He grabs Charlie while he's in the spring bonnie, and Charlie, knowing how to use the spring locks, knew that if she can set the spring locks off, then they all could get out of there. So that's what she did. And they all have a happy ending, I guess. Well, it's actually kind of sad ending. Well, they all have to leave Hurricane. And now I'll tell you who Dave is. Dave Miller is Henry's business partner, who is William Afton. And if you know anything about William Afton, he is the man behind the slaughter, I guess. And that's all you need to know about The Silver Eyes by Scott Cawthon. I hope you enjoyed the book, and I'll see you next time. Bye!